Hello everybody, very good afternoon. People were not able to get me. Hello. இருக்கு மேம், இங்கே எடுக்கணும் இன்னைக்கு. So people, very good afternoon. Just got a message. Aishwarya, sorry, I've not missed any of the business classes. Okay, Aishwarya, when was the days you've been marked absent?
So 8th November.
Which November?
The 8th November.
8th November.
Yes, sir.
One second. You would have attended the class, Aishwarya. Problem could be like you would have not crossed 35 minutes. So probably even that could be the reason why you have been marked absent. So even that could be the reason. So yeah. So anyway, let me cross check on the same day and I'll just let you know.
Yes, sir. Please cross check.
Yeah, sure. I'll cross check it on that day when you have missed your attendance, 8th November. And I'll just let you know. You can just come and meet me tomorrow in my cabin. So I'll check
Yes,
it in
sir.
front of you and I'll let you know.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes. So, only 40. Priya, okay. Only 39 have joined so far. What happened? Okay, students, any idea what was the discussion we had it in the previous session? That is in the last class. We started with unit number 4 and unit number 4 talking about the business environment, right? And in the last class, we understood there are two different classifications of business environment where we have internal factors affecting the business and external factors that can affect the business. So business environment is the place where I run my business and the people who are involved in the business and for whom I'm conducting my business. So this particular circle is called as your environment, business environment, right? So for whom am I conducting the business and doing my business and with whom? So who are the people who are part of my business, who is conducting, helping me to conduct the business? So that is what we call it as your business environment. So we do have internal factors and external factors. So that's the discussion which we had it in your previous class. So these are the various factors where you can so this is the these are the various factors which we can come across when I'm starting my business, when I run my business. These are the various factors that probably can affect my business, right? And the list of external factors are economic factors, political or legal factors, demographic factors, social factors, competitive factors, and global. Now, these are the factors which we cover it up, and that covers under your external business environment. So my business can be affected by the external environment as well as the internal environment. So internal environment are the people who are involved in the business, involved within the business. So for example, entrepreneurs, the top people who are running me, who are helping me to run my business, the managers or the supervisors who are taking the lead roles in various operations. So they act as a managers and they can also affect my business. They can also act as one of the important factors affecting my business. Workers. So again, the low level employees, right? The low level employees who makes our product available to the people. So they become our internal customers. Suppliers who are integral part of an organization. So again, they become a part of our they become the part of our internal development. So internal environment is getting affected because of them. And finally, the customers, who are the stakeholders of the business. So normally we call the customers, the employees, people who are involved within the business, right? So we call them as the stakeholders of the business. Because of that, even the business can get affected. So these are the discussions which we had in the previous class, and we started discussing on the various environment, that is macro environment and micro environment. Micro environment is within the company, what sort of changes that can affect my business. Macro environment, that is outside the organization, whatever the conditions that prevails, that can affect my organization, that can affect the business. So that we call it as your macro environment. Yesterday we came out with a lot of examples, few examples where we discussed on factors that affects my business. So today what we'll do is we'll go out with few more examples, but this time you people are going to tell me under which factor does this particular example will create impact on my business. Okay, I'll just give you a situation and you people can substantiate your views. You can tell me, sir, because of this reason I feel your business can get affected. Okay, fine. So now let's begin this. Okay, people just consider this example. Tell me what sort of classification of the factor does this particular situation falls. There is a company, and in that company there the employees were very effective, right? They were all very productive in nature, so they were contributing maximum to the organization. So the employees were the key integral part of the organization. So now these employees, what happened is they had an issue of not having enough salary. So what they did is as a whole, right? So normally employees, they act as a team. So normally what happened is the whole team, they shifted to the other company, where the competitors company, where they paid more salary, right? So because of this, what happened, the company was end up in the loss. The company, because the customers, the employees moved to the other organization, they made a huge loss in the organization, because employees were the very vital part of the organization. They were so productive, so efficient, and that was because they were not able to pay the employees properly. So now they moved to the other organization. They got paid enough. Because of this particular main organization is getting affected. They were into the loss. Now, what sort of factor is this? Is this an internal factor or an external factor?
Internal.
Yes, Abhishek, can you just come again?
It's internal.
Very good. It is called as your internal factors, right? So within the organization, I have a change. My employees have shifted from one organization to the other organization. Because of that, I'm making loss. Yeah, Joel, you're also correct. It is internal, right? So because of this, my organization is totally having a changeover. So now this is because of my internal factor, right? Now, coming back to the next point. All of a sudden there was a change in the there was a company which is running on mobile apps, right? There are various companies run on mobile apps. Say for example Redbus, a very famous company which is having the only main source is the app, right? So that way this is one organization which is running with app. All of a sudden Android was being changed to the another platform, right? It's hypothetical. Okay, think and let me know. So now the whole Android platform was being shifted to some other platform. This company was not able to shift their working platform, that is your software. They were not able to change it properly. Because of this, the company is making huge loss. Because of this, the company is making a huge loss. Now this comes under which factor? The company was not able to adapt to the new software. Because of that, the company is making loss. Now this comes under which factor?
External, sir.
Very good, Manish. It is correct, external. But can you be more specific? Which of the external factors?
Like changes in softwares.
That comes under which factor? Think. You can just see the slide also. In the slide also, we have that on top right corner, you have some factor.
Technological.
Very good. Very good, Manish. So now this comes under your technological factor, because technology is not in my hands. External environment, technology on the whole, on the society, if there is a change in the technology, even if my company is not getting adapted to that, then definitely we will also incur loss, right? For example, the education industry, if you just look at it, last couple of years before, everybody were on the offline mode, and due to COVID pandemic, we shifted to the online mode. When we shifted to the online mode, all automatically we wanted to get ourselves adapted to the technology, because Zoom I need to know, Google Meet I need to know, Google Classrooms I need to know. So all these things as a faculty I need to learn more, and ICT, that is the integration of communication and technology, right? So that I need to understand. ICT platforms are growing more in number. I need to get myself adapted to that. Now, because of now under this situation, which factor we consider now? If we are not getting adapted, definitely we will also make loss, right? We are not able to render our service to the students. We are not able to render our service to the students. When we are not able to do that one, we will also fail in our duties. So now what happens here? So which factor is affecting here? Here we have both internal and external, right? Internal factor, because employees are not able to adapt to the new technology, that is internal factor. External factor is change in your environment. Say for example, your social and cultural changes are happening, political changes are happening, because lockdown was being insisted, right? We imposed lockdown, so political and legal entities were there. So all these things acting as your political, legal, social, cultural are the factors which is partly involved in this. And internal environment, for example, employees were not able to adapt to the new technology. So because of that, we might incur loss. Thankfully, we did it, but if at all we are not getting ourselves adapted, then definitely we will also end up with the loss, right? So like this, each and every company has got these two impact. Macro environment would be there, micro environment. Macro environment is your external factor, micro environment is your internal factors, okay, within the organization, what are all changes. For example, there was one supplier who was giving me high quality products for me. Okay, there was a supplier who was giving me high quality products. Now all of a sudden what happened is the quality, this is what he provides, no, because of the inefficient cost maintenance, the supplier was not giving me the same quality product, right? So because of the suppliers not providing the high quality product, my final end product is also not having the highest quality. Okay, because of the suppliers who is not providing me the best quality, this components, because of this my final end product is also not having the highest quality. Now I'm losing my market share is getting diminished. Now this factor, right, that comes under which category? Internal or external? Suppliers. Because of supplier I'm losing my business. So does that come under your internal factor or external factor? Anyone? Come on guys, just think, give a try on this. Suppliers, are they the internal part of the organization or they belong to the external part of the organization?
External, sir.
Sorry Manish, but this time internal suppliers will be considered as your internal part. You can just consider here, if you just look at the slide now, in the micro environment you will have the suppliers. Okay, so suppliers will be considered as your internal environment. So if your suppliers are not providing the highest quality product, and again suppliers will be considered as your internal. And John Corney, you're right, you have called it as internal, that is correct. Okay, so normally where money people like Manish, where we went wrong is suppliers are not, we would have thought supplier is some other company who is giving products to we, so we think them as an external organization, he's an external environment, but no, suppliers will be, has to be treated as the internal part of the organization. So we need to consider him as a part of the organization, so he becomes a internal environment factor. Okay, again distributors, if my distributor is not getting enough movement of products, then again distributors will become acting as my external, I mean internal factor affecting my business. So in your unit number 4, technology, in your unit number 4, when you're talking about business environment, you need to have a better observation on both micro level and macro level. In your macro level, you're talking about your external factors. In micro, you're talking about your internal factors which can affect your customers, which can affect your business. So now slowly we'll move into the other examples. Okay, yesterday we started discussing on this Titanic phase, where how the ship was being built and what type of suppliers we had it live. We had the story of that one. Okay, people, today we are going to start with economic factors. Okay, there are various technology, I mean, your external factors we discussed here. So in the external factors, we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 factors are there. So today we will try to discuss economic factor and social factor. Okay, how these two factors can affect my business. How these two factors can affect my business. So let's try to see that one first. Then later we'll just go one factor after the other. Right. So the first one is your economic factor. How my economic factor can affect the company's business. Right. So we'll just talk with new evolving businesses. Right. People, any idea which one you feel that this business was not there a couple of years before? Now this has got established as a business. Can you name some businesses like that? Just think around and let me know what are the businesses which you feel that has got developed or that has got expanded in the previous in the last 2 years, in the very recent 2 years it has got developed. Can you name some business like that? Just think it over and let me know. You can put it in your chat box also. Food delivery, very good. Yes, Rashika, nice answer, very good answer, guys. Food delivery, of course. We had food delivery initially. Pizza Hut was delivering food. Pizza was delivering only pizzas to the world. But again, this has become a separate business only in the recent years. It has become a business, but recently only it has got picked up. Right? Initially it was in the introduction stage. Now it was in the growth stage. Market is growing madly like anything, and people are started ordering food on food delivery partners, through food delivery partners. So that way, of course, that's one business which is getting developed now. Any other business from small scale to large scale, whatever you can just say the cab booking. Very good. Yes, of course, cab booking also. Piyush, good answer. Rapido, of course. People have started having difficulty in the travel, right? Because your transportation has been totally stopped, and people, they didn't have this one. Paytm. Okay, Paytm. Instead of saying as a Paytm, I would say as a payment banks. Again, that's a business which is getting flourished nowadays. Payment banks, and it's not only Paytm. You take Google Pay, Paytm. What are the other thing? Phone Pay. Other small companies also, they came out with the Airtel. Every small mobile phone companies, they came out with the payment banks. We can pay through that. Amazon also, they came out with the payment bank. I can use Amazon app to pay some other party also. So payment bank, again, that is getting developed. Okay, very good. But since transportation has got stopped and transportation has got slowed down little, people have started using cab booking services and Rapido kind of, where the two-wheelers we can adapt, and people are ready to go ahead with that. Any business. Yes, Manish, very good. OTT. Even in the last class, we discussed OTT platform. John Carney and Manish, very good. OTT platform has got increased. Correct. Any other business? So far, people have started. None of the company were manufacturing face mask. Now people have started manufacturing mask. Small business getting developed. Sanitizers. None of the companies were manufacturing sanitizers at all. Hand wash they had. Sanitizers they never had. Now they started manufacturing sanitizers. New business has got developed. All right. So even with a small product also, we can identify the new businesses are getting born on everyday basis. We can just identify that business is getting developed. Right. So now, why I'm just talking about the new developing businesses. The reason is the establishment of new businesses can happen because of few changes in the factor.
What, sir?
Yes, Priya, which one you're asking? I couldn't get you. Okay, so now because of because of the changes in the economic factors, right? So there are many new businesses that is getting developed. For example, we'll take the first factor, right? The tax rate. Now, every organization has got a certain tax which they need to pay, right? Every organization has a certain tax which they need to pay. Now, when the government is reducing the tax rates, right? When the government is reducing the organization's tax rates or individual tax rate, when it comes to the tax rate, as an individual, when I earn money, it is acting as an income for me, so I need to pay my income tax. And similarly, organizations which are making profit, they need to pay the tax for the profit what they are making, because they are companies, organization is making profit, they need to pay corporate tax. Okay, as an individual, if I pay, it is called as income tax for an individual and corporate tax for the organization. Now, if the government is trying to wanted to promote one certain business, say for example, now it is time where everybody wants to wear masks. So let's give, let us slash the tax rates for the companies which is manufacturing sanitizers, or the company which is manufacturing mask. Now I slash the tax rate now. So now what happens? People will start promoting the business. Everybody will start developing the business. So now, because of this one particular economic factor, like bringing down the tax rate, business is getting flourished. People are getting this point. Now, on the other side, if an individual income tax rate, if it is being slashed, right? Initially up to 3 lakhs, we never had a tax. Now up to 5 lakhs, an individual need not pay tax, right? So if that is the case, only have more than 5 lakhs if I earn per year, then I'm intended to pay my taxes. Now, if at all next year, in the next union budget, which we are having it in the February 2022, normally we'll have it during that time. At that time, if at all the tax rates are further slashed, okay, till 6 lakh, there is no tax for you. Now what happens now? So people who are getting into the next scale of income, they need not pay the tax. So now when they don't have the tax to pay, when they don't want to pay the taxes, automatically they will start spending on some other items. They will start buying other items which is required for them. They might save the money and they might go for buying some other commodity which is required for them. Or they might go for investing their money, because taxes have been completely slashed. So I did not pay my government, rather I can make use of that money in some other purpose. So what I do, I will go for buying some of the commodity, or I'll go for investing my money. So when I keep buying my product, that particular business is getting flourished. Say for example, I keep saving my money. So when I go for buying any consumer durable, like refrigerator, or I'm just going to buy a washing machine, microwave oven, or I'm just going for buying a computer, laptop, mobile phone, changing my mobile phones frequently, or I'm just going for a travel very frequently, tourism. So whatever be the mode, wherever I spend it, what happens is indirectly again, it goes to the government. For example, when it comes to the taxes, there are two different types. One is direct tax, another one is indirect tax. Direct taxes are what we pay to the government directly from my income. When I make my income, I need to pay the income tax. So that comes under your direct tax. Indirect taxes are the ones where when I buy a commodity, when I buy a product, I need to pay tax associated with that, right? I need to pay the GST. So that becomes again an income for the government. So that is an indirect tax. Now, if you have income more than 10 lakh rupee, you will pay the government. So you need to pay the taxes. So you will pay in the government. If your income is less than 5 lakh rupee, you need not pay the tax. So the money what you are saving on behalf of paying the tax, that you can use it for buying some other product. Now, indirectly you're contributing to the business, and directly you're contributing to the business, and indirectly the business is serving as a revenue for the government. Okay, they need to pay the corporate tax, and the corporate tax needs to be paid to the government. So indirectly government is also getting benefited. Now, if at all the tax rate is being changed frequently, then according to that, many organizations will get flourish. If the tax rates are being very strict, if the tax rates are very, very high, normally the businesses will not flourish. Normally the business will go perish. Okay, either they will flourish or they will perish. So it depends on what sort of taxing system we have it in our organization or we have it in our country. So that's the reason why our nation recently they have started coming out with one tax, one nation, one tax scheme. So they wanted to have only one common taxing system. They don't want to tax people on various uh, rates, income, direct tax, indirect tax, and for whatever the investments you're doing, no, there is something called as capital gains tax. Okay, so we other than that, we do have cess. Cess is again part of your secondary part of your tax system. So many of the money what you're using, no, it is going as a tax where you're not able to buy anything. So you'll not be able to make any of the businesses to grow. That is the reason why this particular factor, tax rate, is very important factor when you're considering for growth of business. Normally people will have very, very less taxes for most important commodity businesses. Very, very less tax for most important commodity businesses. Say, for example, necessity commodities. For any company which is manufacturing rice, their tax rates will be very less because they wanted to sell the rice at the cheaper price to the customer. But whereas you look at the fuel, look at the liquor. So these two commodities will be sold at a highest tax. The reason is that is not the necessity commodity, right? That is not the basic necessary commodity for survival. That is a premium product. That is a luxury product, right? So that is a luxury commodity which people need not use it for their show. And that is the reason why those commodities are being taxed higher. So when I buy a liquor or when I buy a petrol, I used to pay more tax to the government. And the company which are using when the companies which are selling these commodities, right? United Spirits, which is the company of Vijay Mallya, right? Selling selling the spirits, selling the liquor. They are making more money because they make more revenue because they collect the tax from the people and again they are paying the government. So more the tax, again more the company can flourish, right? On the other side, if they are not charging more tax, now what happens is the company will not contribute to the growth of the nation. The companies will not contribute to the growth of the nation. So that is the reason why, based on the volume of the business, the tax will be levied, and based on the nature of the business, the tax will be levied. Okay, so tax rate is just a simple factor, but very, very critical one when you are understanding the business's point. People are getting this point. So tax rate system, taxing system is not that easy to fix the tax for the businesses. If you are selling a rice, if you're selling wheat, the most basic commodity for this for the existence of the human, for those you'll be having very less tax. If you're selling cigarettes, if you're selling liquor, if you're selling fuel, if you're selling gold, for those businesses your tax rates will be little higher. Okay, because those are the luxury products where it needs to be taxed higher. The basic products need not be taxed higher, it will be taxed a little cheaper. So that is tax rate, how it gets affecting your businesses. Always when you're choosing a country to start a business, the tax rate and the tax system is not common for all the nations, guys. So you need to understand that the taxing system and the taxing phenomena is not common for all. If you go to UK, the services are so cheap there. All the services sector are so cheap there because they are contributing maximum to the country's economy. So now the services sector will not be having huge taxes. So all the services sector will be having very less tax and they are contributing more to the people also. If you're going to the UK to start a business, think about services sector. If you go to USA, America, there the production of manufacturing of cars are taxed very less, right? So there, if you go, you can think about manufacturing and selling cars because that is being taxed very less. Or if you go to Gulf countries, right? Normally we call that countries as OPEC, OPEC countries, OPEC nations, oil production and export nations, export countries, OPEC. If you go there, the fuel is very, very less, right? The cost of the fuel is so cheap there. So what happens is then you can use that fuel as one of your resources for running your businesses. Then you can flourish your businesses that quickly. But there, if you just go, water will be taxed higher. And if you're starting any water businesses there, that will be a great success there. Because water, they will tax the companies cheaper, they will tax public more. So you can sell the water for highest price. When you're selling the water for highest price, normally you can make more revenue. Okay, so now each and every organization has, each and every country has a different tax system, different taxing regimes. So based on that only you need to decide where I need to use what sort of businesses can go successfully. Okay, so OTT platforms, whatever the businesses you have seen, what you have mentioned here, majority of that comes under your services sector. Can you people recognize that? Food delivery services, cab booking services, Rapido services, Paytm again services, OTT platform again services. None of you have came out with any production at all. Everybody came out with the services based industry only. And because the reason is the services, the taxes are so cheap. Okay, the tax rates are so cheap, so business can flourish quickly when it comes to the services sector. Okay, so people, are you getting this point? Economic factors, how taxing can affect your business. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so taxing, again, you need to look at the tax rates and the taxing system in the organization. Then you need to, in the company, then you need to choose what sort of business I need to run. Next, coming out with exchange rates. One of the most important, other important aspect. People, what is our currency? INR. What is this INR? Can anyone name this currency? INR. Exchange rate, next factor. So people, what is this INR? What is the currency used by our country? Come on, just quick. Anyone?
Like the full form, sir.
Very good. Indian rupee. Joel, you are correct. And someone's mic is on mute. Yeah, rupee. Okay. Okay, I'm just getting some answers. Fine. Now, does India is the only country who have rupee as the currency, or is there any other nation who is having rupee as a currency? Is India the only nation who is having rupee as a currency, or is there any other nation who is having the currency rupee? Very good. Nepal. Yes, Nepal's currency. How about Pakistan? How about Sri Lanka? Bhutan. Very good. How about Bangladesh? How about Afghanistan? So when we say rupee, rupee is not only currency for India. Companies or the neighborhood nations like Pakistan, neighborhood nations like Sri Lanka, they also are having rupee. Now, is the rupee same overall in all the country? Though we are having one common currency called rupee, does the value of the rupee is the same? Does the value of rupee in India, and very good, the value will have a difference. There will be a change in the value, which means if at all I wanted to buy $1 in Indian rupee, I need to pay 70 rupees. Okay, in Indian rupee, I need to pay approximately. Now it is a little more than that. Approximately, it comes around 72 rupees. Okay, now what is the value of Sri Lankan rupee? Any idea? Sri Lanka. Okay, people, once again, I'll share the other one screen. Check this one. People, were you able to view the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, fine. So now, one Sri Lankan rupee is equal to 0.37 Indian rupee. What does it mean? Our rupee has greater value or Sri Lankan rupee has greater value?
Ours have greater value, sir.
Ours is having greater value. Okay, so how do okay fine. How do we come to that conclusion? Because I'm getting answer only from one, so which means okay. Now I've done the conversion here. Can you just look at the value here, guys? For 1 Indian rupee, I can get 2.72 Sri Lankan rupee. Okay, people, are you getting this point here?
Yes, sir.
It is double. Yeah, 1 Indian rupee is equal to little more than double. If you ask me, it is more than double, 2.72 rupee. Let's get into the Pakistan rupee. Okay, it is 1 Indian rupee is equal to 2.40, which means if I give 1 rupee Indian rupee, I'll be getting 2 rupees 40 paise of Indian Pakistani rupee. Okay. Next, next one which we can say Nepal rupee. Okay, look at this Nepal rupee. 1 Indian rupee is equal to 1.6. So which means almost Indian rupee and Nepal rupee are same. Can you just see this one? Nepal and Indian rupee is almost the same. Maldivians, again, Maldivian we call it Rufia, and again it is one of the form of rupee. And if you just look at that, with 1 Indian rupee, I will be able to buy only 20 cents or 20.2 only I will be able to get, because it means that Maldivian rupees are little more than mine, right? Little more than our country's rupee. Okay, Bhutan and India, if you just look at it, it is 1 more 1. My Indian currency and Bhutan currency, they are having 1 on 1. So Bangladeshi Taka, if you just remember, yeah, it is also 1 to 1.15. So now if you look at all these nations, right? So all these nations, which is so close neighborhood of our country, almost every place other than 2-3 countries, all the other countries are having almost equal to Indian rupee only, right? Now where the difference comes here, for example, if at all I wanted to convert my rupee into Australian dollar, okay, look at the value. If I give 1 Indian rupee, I'll be getting 0.019, which means 0.02. If you want me to say it in pies, 1 rupee is equal to 2 pies there in Australia. So that is the with which that's the meager value which we have it. And this rate is called as exchange rate. Okay, so people, what is this rate called as? This is called as exchange rate. For example, we'll convert American dollar. Okay. So the current going rate, 1 United States dollar is equal to 74.73 rupees, which means I need 74, almost 75 rupees I need to have to buy $1. Okay. And if you take some other countries, say for example, we'll take pounds, Great Britain's pounds, GBP normally we call them, or if you just go to the euro, okay, we'll convert that into euro. 1 euro is equal to 84.32, which means euro is much valued higher than the dollars. Let us get into the Britain's currency, UK. Okay, Chinese yuan, let's see. So one Chinese yuan is equal to 11 rupee. Almost it is, again, I need to give a little more than what I have it in my hand. So Britain pounds, I don't have it here. called as pound sterling. Okay, Great Britain pound sterling. If you look at it, 1 pound sterling is equal to 100 rupees. 1 pound sterling is equal to 100 rupees. So that way, my exchange rate, it is nothing but the comparison of my country's currency value with the other country's currency value. Okay, what I do, sir, why do currency value change every day? Very good question. Rashika, what happens is between every nation, there is a currency transactions will happen. For example, I do buy crude oil on everyday basis with OPEC countries. I need to buy crude oil because my country needs petrol, because every one of us are using petrol, for which I need a crude oil. I need to buy crude oil from OPEC nations. Now what happens is that OPEC nation has to get our money. So now they will not get my money. So now Indian rupee I cannot pay. Either I need to pay in terms of gold or I need to pay in terms of dollar. Okay, either I need to pay in terms of US dollar or I need to pay in terms of gold. Normally people will not pay in gold because gold value is cannot define it. So normally what happens is people, they wanted to keep more reserve of gold, and people, they normally will keep paying in dollars. So when I keep paying in dollars, what happens is I need to buy dollar, right? So when I buy more and more dollar, the demand for the dollar currency will increase more and demand for my nation's currency will fall. Okay, so when there is a demand change in the demand and supply of the currency, normally the price also will go for a change. Petrol, why there is a change in the petrol price every day, 5 paise, 10 paise? Because there is every day there is a consumption, every day there is a demand and supply for each currency, each petrol. When you go for gold, same thing. Why gold prices are changing every day? Why vegetable prices are changing every day? The reason is it is exposed to the market, because people are buying, people are creating demand for that particular product and they change the prices. Same thing is happening in the currency also. So currency also, what we do is I buy more and more dollars. So I create dollar reserve. I create demand for dollar. So when the demand for dollar value, when the value of dollar is keep on increasing, my currency value will keep decreasing. Okay, my currency value will keep decreasing. If at all petrol companies, they are ready to buy it in Indian rupee, then definitely $1 will not be 74 rupees, 75 rupees. Definitely my demand for Indian rupee will increase. Then normally, very in a shorter span of time, $1 will become 30 rupees. Even that is possible. But unfortunately, dollar is considered as a global currency. So wherever you go, dollar will be considered as a global currency. Every currency value is pegged with dollar value. So when dollars values keep changing, definitely our currency value also will change. The basic rule is the demand and supply. When there is a demand for dollar, there is a less demand for our commodity, that is our currency. Normally, there will be a change in the currency value. Rashika, hope I've answered your question, but I'm not sure how much you got this point, because there are various other factors also that why this fluctuation happens. But the basic reason is this is the one. Okay.
I got it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Rashika. So now exchange rate, again, that plays a vital role here. Now we have come across with a lot of exchange rate calculations, right? Is it better to start business in India or is it better to start business in USA based on exchange rate? Can anyone let me know? Is it better to start the business in India or is it better to start business in US based on your currency value, based on your exchange rate? In India, of course, there is a more volume, there is a scope for having more volume of business. But even with a lesser volume of the business in US, if you're able to, here you have to sell 10 cars to make profit. There, if you sell only 2 cars also, you can make a profit. Okay, the exchange rate plays a vital role here. Why people they are going for export? Why people they are not giving the same price, they are not giving it to our, for example, when you buy a t-shirt, right? If you go to our places like Tripura or Ahmedabad and all, if you go, majority of the time, the price tag will be in dollars. The price tag will be in euros. Why? because those are the export commodity. They are the export quality products. So now those products are intended for the export. That's the reason why the price tag is in that way. If at all they are buying the t-shirt for 10 euros, 1 euro is 100 rupees. Just now we saw. But are we paying 1000 rupees for the t-shirt? We'll never pay for 1000 rupees. We'll be buying it only for 200, 300 rupees. The same t-shirt, the same material, the same quality of the t-shirt. Only because of the exchange rate, I can get more profit with the lesser sales in the volume, right? Volume wise, there will be less sales, but value wise, I'll have more. Okay. Here telling 10 sheets for 10 t-shirts for 200 rupees. They're selling 10 t-shirts for 100, for 10 euros. It is totally the change in volume wise, it's the same. Look at the value. Here it is 10 into 200. I'll be making volume only for 2000 rupees. There it is 10 into 10. I mean 10 into 10 euros, which is 100 euros. 100 euros is not 2000 rupees. 100 euros is almost 10,000 rupees. So now what happens here? Volume wise the same, value wise it's different. That's the reason why normally organizations, they go for having better exchange rate. Wherever the nation is having better exchange rate, they will start developing the businesses there. So when your country's exchange rate is getting weaker and weaker, it represents you are not making enough money as expected. So you are forced to go for export. So exchange rate is also a critical factor that can assess your business's growth. People, are you getting this point? Why exchange rate you need to know? Yes. So when exchange rate values are keep changing, your business also have a different value for your sale. Okay. So better exchange rate companies can go with the better profits. Even if you go to the Tirupur, right, or Ahmedabad, the total sales or the total t-shirts they export to European country, the total number of t-shirts they export to the American nation, it will be totally different. It will be totally different. Their concentration will be on euro because the better the exchange rate. Their concentration will be little lesser. If at all anything, something like Olympics is happening, if at all any other bigger event is happening, only then they will think about launching, or only then they'll think about exporting their commodity, exporting their product to those nations. Or otherwise, normally they will try to go ahead with a better exchange. They will go ahead with the exchange rate wherever is better. They will try to choose that country as their business nations. Okay, so now external factors in your economic factor, exchange rate is important when it considered. Next one is inflation. Again, inflation is nothing but the value of money what you pay for the commodity. That if it is keep on increasing, then it is called as inflation. Couple of months before, the price of the tomato has got increased up to 100 rupees. I'm not sure how many of you have seen that in your all your social media memes, all your social media posts and all were reflecting the same scenario. Price of the tomato has got increased, and that is nothing but the reflection of inflation. Inflation is nothing but the commodity for which we are paying only 10 rupees. All of a sudden, I just wanted to pay 100 rupees for the same commodity. Then that is nothing but the price rise in the commodity. And that we call it as your inflation rate. So if inflation rate is so huge, okay, if the inflation is more in any nation, the people are will not be able to buy luxury products that easily. Okay, so this will I think we'll see it in little detail in the next class, guys. Okay, so people, external factors we are looking at, and today we started with economic factors, and let's see one by one. And today we have completed two, because first two it is little difficult. All the other things are a little easy only, so you can understand that. So from next class, let's see how quickly we can transfer. We'll do it. Okay, so people, that's end of the session. So see you all in the next class, guys. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. See you all.